red, blue, purple light. Friends, red, blue, purple light. Friends, facts, red, blue, purple light. Friends, red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we're stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, if we don't put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you and it's going to provoke you and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Live. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. We're going to be doing the faceless tonight. Once again, my camera is acting super janky. Super janky. I need the Best Buy hookup. If you're out there and you work for Best Buy, please holler at your peoples. We need to talk. You know what I'm talking about? We need to talk. Mine them need to. I need a better camera. But we are here. We're in the building. It's a good Saturday and whatnot. You know what I mean? We're gonna chop it up. Let me know how we sound on the audio. I'm running my mouth. Let me know how we sound on the audio before I even begin. Are we fuego or nah? What are we doing? Are we fuego or nah? We're going to roll right into the roll call. All right, sounds good. Awesome. We're going to roll right into the roll call and see who we have in the building tonight. You know what I mean? And then we'll go from there. You know what I'm saying? We'll take it from there. Live and direct. All right, now. So we got San Francisco in the building. Shout out to the San Francisco family. And then we have Ohio in the building. Crenshaw in the building. What's popping? What's goody? We got North Carolina in the building. I hope to see you on Monday, North Carolina. We are going to be in your city or your state for that matter. Shout out to the Bronx. All right. CTATL. Nashawn, I'm gonna call you after this. I gotta find out something from you. All right. So I'm gonna text you before I call you. Greenville, SC in the building. You dig? San Jose, Cincinnati. We got Florida in the building. We got Crenshaw. Got Hollywood in the building. All right. We got Cape Verde in the building. Bridgeport was good. Bridgeport was popping. North Las Vegas in the building. Bishopville, South Carolina. That sounds kind of serious over there. Long Island City, Texas. We got California Love. You dig? Okay, you in the lab? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Montezuma, Georgia. Columbia, SC. All right. Stand up, Bridge. Yeah, Bridgeport. We see you. I told y'all my grandfather used to live in Bridgeport, so I'm locked in with y'all. My grandfather used to live out there, man. You know what I mean? I remember going out there as a toddler. Decatur in the building. Shout out to Decatur. Where's greater? Yeah. Orange County in the building. Norfolk in the building. Cornelia, Georgia is in the building. Shout out to Cornelia. You smell me? Yeah, man. Y'all deep up in here on this good Saturday. I'm glad that I caught y'all at the right time, the wind down hour. You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk about a few things going on, shit like that. Cover some bases, and then we out of here. You know what I'm saying? We out of here to live, to fight for another day. Shout out to Louisiana in the building. I'm still learning how to pronounce that. Columbus, Ohio in the building. We got Akron. We got the BX. We got London in the ting. London, Monday. What time is it in London? Oh Lord. Either it's wow early or you up the latest ever. Yeah, we doing no camera tonight. I said it earlier. I'm having a janky camera moment. You know what I mean? So we got to get a new camera. I'm thinking about I have a webcam, but I'm thinking about going all in and getting like the camera, the Canon and whatnot, the big boy shit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have no camera problems. You feel me? But yeah, we're gonna work that out. Modesta, California. Shout out to you. You heard? Shout out to you. Shout out to the DMV. Shout out to Sacktown. What's popping? What up to Sacktown? All right. Yes, yes, yes. Phoenix in the building. Phoenix in the building. Seminole, Florida in a building. You said, I mean, I got a Canon. I got a few cameras. I just want to get a newer camera. One that's probably like, for streaming and everything. I do have a Canon in the closet. I might activate it and whatnot. But I don't know. Something is making me feel like there's a camera that I'm missing out on that I need, so my shit could be crystal. You feel me? I like how it looks, but I don't know. Like when I download a video from YouTube and I gotta like edit it in CapCut, and then when I re-upload it, it loses its quote unquote texture. Like it's compromised. I don't know if it's the camera or maybe the way that I'm exporting. I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm literally calling out for anybody that has skills and y'all know how to help me. I got a XLR camera, no mirror and all of that. I got that. I got the Canon in the closet. You smell me? I just haven't been using it and whatnot. I got two of them in the closet. You know, my thing is I gotta Google it. I'm gonna go to YouTube University just to find out what's the best one. And even if I gotta sell this camera and get a new one, you know what I mean? Yes, I do need the drone following me. That's boss. That's boss type shit. You know what I mean? I do need the drone following me, tracking me with the HD flyaway shots and all of that overhead. Yeah, I need the cinematic touch. VN. What is VN? Educate me. I know about CapCut. Before that, we was doing iMovie, janky shit. You know what I'm saying? Janky shit. I was doing iMovie, Final Cut X. Now we on CapCut. DaVinci is an option. DaVinci is an option. I just don't know. I'm looking at people's. I got them trapped in the closet. I'm looking at people's YouTube channels, and the image is just clear. It's cinematic. You feel me? It's cinematic. I'm like, what the fuck? Where are y'all? This is not a Best Buy camera. What's going on? Okay, CapCut's competition is VN. It's a video editor, free 99. Oh, okay. I'm gonna check that out. But yeah, one of you experts, I'm gonna need y'all to pull up on me and get me right. Pause. And just help me with the cinematics. You know what I mean? So my shit could look crystal. You know? Yeah, mostly everybody's channel is crispy that's active daily. Facts. You know what I'm talking about? Facts. I need my shit to be crystal. You know? I went and got the lights from Temu. I might have to get more lights. But you know, it is what it is. We doing a whole a reboot. You know what I'm saying? We doing a reboot, rebranding. You know, the spring is here. It's time to pop out for show, for show. And that's what it is, man. Yeah, that's what it is. I also want to see this. I'm gonna do a vote, man. I got an upcoming event in April. I'm gonna do a vote, y'all. Let me know. We're gonna do 1, 2, and 3 options. Y'all let me know which flyer we going with. So this is flyer 1. Let me take off the banner on the bottom. This is flyer 1. This is me and Spin City's April workshop entitled Fantasy Complex Industry Reloaded, right? So that's flyer 1. That's flyer 2. This is more cartoonish. This is more photorealistic. It looks like a movie poster, Afrofuturism, you know, all of that fly shit. You know what I mean? Does it look like Spin City? Kinda. And does it look like Red? Kinda. It's an interpretation, you know what I'm saying? Based on a true story. Then we got this. It's looking like more cartoonish and whatnot. I put the Jim Lee style. I like Jim Lee. That was one of my favorite artists. Or number 3, which is this. I don't know who that nigga is in the back with the suit on, but they say that's supposed to be me. That looked like Spin City if he got signed to the WWF or something. Fantasy Complex. That's number 3. So 3, 2, and 1. What y'all going with? Like what's popping? What's popping? Okay, we got some ones in the building. We got some ones in the building. We got some 2s in the building. Okay. I see some 1s. I see 2 and 3. Let me like Booker T. I got my nigga looking like the UFC champion. Where's your belt at, Spin? 1 is the best. We rocking with the 1. They got him on Kimbo Slice time. Let me go and see him again. Boom. 2. Looking like Miles Morales. 3. Whoever homie is in the back, he looked like he worked for Victims Unit. I look like I work with Ice-T on what's that shit? The police show. Who the hell is that? It got me looking crazy. All right, so we got a lot of ones. We got 1s in the building. Yeah, I look like Liza Lazo. Which module did you do on 1? That is Afrofuturistic, photorealistic, Afrofuturism, photorealistic, and yeah, I uploaded a picture of both of us, and I let it just do that. You know what I'm saying? That's ChatGPT, by the way. The new 4.0. And what you said that's Booker T? Right. That's suburb blurred me, right? You know what I'm saying? He looks like a dude that could be on a new daytime show, Beyond the Gates. Yeah, I didn't see that. I heard about it though. I didn't see it. I heard about it. But yeah, these are some of the assets that we came up with, you know what I'm saying? Just playing around with the technology. But I promise you, I'm not playing with you this month. Like, I shit you not. We start we're starting it on April 11th, right? We're starting it because April 4th, I'm gonna be in Virginia with A. Rashid. So we booked for that Friday. So we're gonna start on the 11th, which is fair. It gives people time to get together, get their shit together, get ready and whatnot. Um, you said one of them looked like Mario Van Peebles. I think that looks like Mario Van Peebles. I'm on my Mario Van Peebles right there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at it. Remind me of Gemini Man. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? It's a clone of a clone. I'm not mad at it, you know? But I think we're gonna go with that. I'm comfortable with this at the main at right now. I'm comfortable with number one. It's giving what it's supposed to give, you know, and we're gonna build it out. But the month of April is going to be very special, y'all. I'm gonna be revisiting. I'm gonna be revisiting a lecture that I did last year in Brooklyn, right? I'm gonna see if I have the flyer in here. This was a very special lecture that I did as well. When I went to Brooklyn, I was very excited. I was enthusiastic about it. I was like gassed up and whatnot. Um, because if you haven't noticed, when I do things that I'm really like, I'm committed, you know what I'm saying? Like these are things that I get very enthusiastic about because it just speaks to, all right, hold on, let me show you. Let me show you. Let me take this off. This is the flyer from the event that I did last year. That is not the event that I did, but it was the one I did. Economics. Well, I should be revisiting that as well. Shout out to Kafunya in the building who brought me to Brooklyn along with Monique and Nicholas. Um, this lecture that I did here, this slash lecture workshop, I think this has aged aged perfectly. You know what I mean? It has aged perfectly. Yeah. That was it right there. That was the one that preceded the fantasy complex industry. And fantasy complex industry was very special for me. You feel me? I got to build on something that I'm very passionate about, and that is artwork. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's not easy to like squeeze that into consciousness because of the fact that people are not really on it like that. They want to hear about the pyramids. They want to hear about, these lofty concepts of galactic planets and whatnot. And I'm cool with all of that. I'm into all of that. I grew up in the comic books. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the comic book world. I grew up in the G.I. Joe universe and in the cartoon world. So my imagination was stretched from a very early age. And I was able to have I was able to live outside of my mind and whatnot. I wasn't restricted to the shit that they teach you in school and all of these other things. Like my mind will always wander, right? So to speak on it, to teach on it, that was a blessing. You know what I mean? I was very blissed to do something like that because it's almost like it's bottled up. I don't have an audience to talk to about art. I don't really have an audience to talk to about drawing and art and comics and toys and video games. That's why I cling to the AI like that, because it has allowed me to kind of like relax, you know what I mean, and get back into my child, the inner child, right? The inner child who doesn't really have too many too many outlets. He doesn't have too many outlets. The outlet for my inner child is the AI. It is designing flyers, thumbnails and stuff like that. It is making clothes. I love to dress up a t-shirt and whatnot and put art on it. That's my way of painting. That's my way of dressing up a canvas by utilizing vinyl, silkscreen, and DTF transfers these days. You know what I mean? So you became an excellent painter in the last 5 years, listening to Red and AA push. Yeah, look at that. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. Look at that. That's dope. Twitch is a better format for that. Yeah. I have an idea about the Twitch channel that I'm gonna launch, and it's gonna involve generating artwork. So we are definitely gonna launch that channel. I was trying to figure out what the hell am I gonna do on Twitch, because that appears to be a platform for the youth. But check it out. Art doesn't have an age, right? When you think about it, the younger generation are they're salivating, waiting for Grand Theft Auto #6 to drop, right? They are avid gamers, right? But the majority of the people who make the games are my age, right? They are avid fans of Marvel movies, but the average people who are making these movies are my age, right? When you go and see the director, like the Russo brothers and all that, they're in the 40s and whatnot. They are my age. They come from my generation. Okay, you can't necessarily no, and don't let me go too far with this shit. You know what I mean? Start trolling me and spamming the chat if I start going too far and whatnot with this ego shit. But the generation of the 70s babies, let's talk about it. Like, you can't get too much shit around, you know what I mean? Not too many things could go on without us being in the room. You know what I'm talking about? Let me talk my shit. Not too many things are being created this fucking classic, and we're not in the room, and our fingerprints ain't on it. I beg your pardon. The movies, for everybody that be trying to, and this for my old heads out there rocking the salt and pepper, and they be trying to call you unc and auntie, and you old and whatnot. Tell these whippersnappers, to get this age is a fucking it's a flex. It's a flex. You could pop your collar. It's a big flex. A lot of people don't make it this far. Look at all of these rappers dying and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? A rapper died on his birthday. Rising Power, the young Scooter and whatnot, died on his birthday yesterday. Like, let's talk about the curse on hip hop. But it's a flex. So the majority of the building of these products and these quote unquote services, right, that the youth are enamored to is being created by people of our age demographics. Don't let that go over your head, right? The younger generation, in my humble opinion, are for in front of the camera, and people of my age demographics at this point in the game, we are for behind the camera. We are to be the producers. We are to be the executive producers. Start bankrolling some shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like, get from in front of the camera. That's not that's not necessarily your strong point. Get behind the camera. Become the manager of the talent. You know what I mean? Become the industry now. So I'm reiterating that, I'm reiterating that. And okay, I'm gonna help you out with that, miraculous wizard queen. I'm reiterating that fact because the fantasy complex industry, or the fantasy industry complex, is up for the taking. It is up for the taking right now. And it's not necessarily, yeah, we'll bring the youth in to work it out, but it's not a young man's game and whatnot. This is going to take some heavy lifting from individuals who've been here for a while, who went through the Marvel universe, the Hanna-Barberas and the Hasbros, and we come from a different time. Come from a different time. We come from a different timeline. So we could reinterpret some of the things that we knew had us on our tippy toes when we were young. You know what I mean? Like we were glued to the television screen. Like we were completely smitten by these cartoons and shit like that, and these toys and all of these things had us in a headlock. So being that we experienced that, we will be the first ones who can interpret that experience for a younger generation who knows nothing of the sorts. You know what I mean? And once again, I played, I remember playing ColecoVision, Atari, ColecoVision, shit like that. You know what I mean? So we come from the beginning of video games. We know the aesthetics of the video games. We know the video game play. We know the dope ass stories. We got these ideas in our heads of characters that need to come to life. We are living in those days and ages right now. Literally. You can create a comic book if you please. You could create a cartoon, a moving cartoon, a short film. You could create animation like Coco Melon right now, Baby Shark right now. You could create a toy right now. You could create the packaging for a toy right now. All of these things are possible. These things wasn't possible a year ago when I went to Nicholas and I did my thing in 2023. This was not possible. I was literally at Nicholas calling for this to happen. Like, yo, this is what we need. This is what we need. These are the things that we need. And then boom. Yeah, I saw Kevin Hart's Little Kev. I did. And it does have the aesthetic of the nostalgic cartoons. Bring that back, y'all. Bring back the nostalgia. Bring back the feeling. You can't, I will not think, I don't think that an 18-year-old could do that. They can't bring back the feeling. They just got to this planet. You know what I mean? Salute to them. But they're not ready for that right now. Until somebody proves me different, all that I see them doing is diving into the shit that we was doing in the 90s. They out there cutting up our old clothes, wearing our hand-me-downs, our vintage stuff, hopping in the baggy look, that's all us. The Ava Rexes and the Polo and the Benetton, and that's all us. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, X-Men 97 brought back the nostalgia. You know what I mean? The younger generation, that's what they're on. They're on the nostalgia. This is the most wealthiest generation ever. Okay? They are the wealthiest generation ever. I remember we used to have to lean on our parents for a few dollars. Some of these kids, they not doing that. They buying their parents a house. You know what I'm saying? They giving their mamas cars and shit like that. Like it's a little bit different these days. It's a little bit different. I haven't even gotten into X-Men 97. I gotta dive into that. You know what I mean? Because literally, I already know what's awaiting me. Is Bishop and Cable in that? Do they got Bishop and Cable in that? Do they have X-Force? So we gonna get in our bag, bro. We are going to get in our Birkin for this month of April for the AI accelerated class. Me and Spence City, all gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes, my G. I promise you, we're gonna come up out of this bitch ready for whatever. You know what I mean? Hopefully, the students that come out of there, you know what I mean? Somebody will walk up out of there with a comic. Somebody will walk up out of there with some toys. Somebody will walk up out of the class with a fully fleshed out animation and whatnot. Fully. The updates are updating and they're making this shit very doable. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's doable though. You feel me? It's not that easy, But you got to have some patience and whatnot. You got to have some patience, and you're going to see what this shit has to offer. Let me see. Let me pull up this video file. I got another one. I did a little commercial the other day. Let me see. I got to launch this thing too. I'm going to launch it tomorrow. Check this out.
Are savage.
Yeah, you damn right. Musicians are the magicians.
So we went over this. I'm just refreshing and rehashing some things. We had went over this the other day. We showed this on the show. I'm just showing it again for my Saturday audience and whatnot. These are some original drawings of mine that I ran through ChatGPT, and I turned it into 3D art, right? When the class begins, you're going to see these figures moving like cartoons, right? It's going to take me a few, maybe a week or something to master that aspect. I don't got nothing. ChatGPT literally gave me the files. They told me where to go. They gave me the instructions, bro, step by step on how to make this shit animated, bro. And it's real. So this is some artwork that I took and I turned it into something. I'm not showing off. I'm showing y'all these are some of the things that y'all could do. You don't have to be a master artist. You could literally put a scribble scrabble and tell the AI, yo, turn this shit into a Rembrandt, turn it into a Basquiat, turn it into any type of art that you want to see it as. It could be Ghibli Studio. It could be Marvel. It could be done in the artwork of a Jim Lee, a Stan Lee and whatnot, a Rob Liefeld, a Todd McFarlane. These are all comic book artists. But check this out.
Savage.
Yeah, you damn right. Musicians are the magicians of the modern day. They're the magis. They're tapping into Magi Nation, the imagination, and they are able to terraform this holographic reality.
I make imagination real. I got the passion in the will. If you talking cash, then we could build.
This is the grimy 90s. And all of my characters were all white people. I'm sorry, don't judge me.
I'm not like my dad, I pay my bills. I pack my bag and play the field. I make imagination real. I got the passion in the will. Yeah. If you talking cash, then we could build. I'm not like my dad, I pay my bills. I feel like this rap gon' make me mills.
Riding through fortress on polo horses in my low sweats. Fuck your Rolex, bitch. I tell time like the Olmecs. Bitch, I'm tech savvy like the Totex. Tatted from neck to my soulplex like the Aztec. Nigga roll dice, wanna aspect. That's all on ice when we blast tech. Aquarian age, get your ass wet. Pressure bust pipe, take your last breath. How can I falter? Rocks on my altar. From the rock of Gibraltar. In the Mediterranean. Ahead of the game. Head in the rain. For Nigerian dames. With Iberian names, gold everything. Africa James, Siberian change. Cold as a Fendi. The gold of the Mendes. Bunch of pictograms. 666 likes on my Instagram. And all of them goddesses. 666 likes on my Instagram.
I make imagination real.
Yeah, so pardon the ignorance, but yeah, you know what I mean? We just getting started, man. We just getting started. Like, this is going to be very fun for me. This is going to be very fun for me. I want to see my brethrens, right? Like, live full, die empty. I want to see my brethrens, the artists, Nashawn. I want to see the artists that are part of our community. I want to see us pick these tools up and spin gold like Rapunzel, right? I want us to spin gold like we Rapunzel and whatnot. Like, that's what I want to see. You said less violent themes is preferable. Yeah. You know, we this one in particular, and I have to always preface it. I remember giving one of the elders some of my artwork, and he called me up like, "Yo, what the fuck?" He was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Nah, you got to understand." I said, "I drew that in 1991, 92, 93. My mind was somewhere else, right? In those grimy 90 eras. So I'm being authentic, right? The artwork is authentic. I'm not trying to polish it up and put like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to put sea moss in these niggas' hands. It was literally the artwork was like my diary in a sense. It was where I was mentally. So where I am now is eons away from that persona or that character or that mind state. There's a growth that has taken place. So I explained to the elder, I'm like, look, I'm just giving you a blueprint, or I'm just giving you a snapshot of what I used to be. You know, I'm not that person anymore. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm just handing out artifacts. You know what I mean? However, once again, what's important to me is to allow that inner child to breathe, right? That inner child needs to finish his breakfast. And I've been through some shit with my artwork, and I'm sensitive about it. I've lost bags full of art, and it has traumatized me to the point where I was working on a time machine because I wanted to go back and change that day. That day was horrible. I threw my brother's artwork away too by mistake. And that's a whole nother story that we'll talk about. But yeah. So for me to see this art get turned into animation and the shit starts moving and whatnot, I literally, as a child, used to dream about that. You feel me? So the the art thing is gonna be about the grimy 90s. And it's just going to be raw and gritty, and it's just going to tell these stories. And then we're going to do another art thing where we grow up and we mature and we get our powers and we're like superheroes and shit like that. But yeah, you know, these guys right here, they robbing banks and they chasing drug dealers off the block. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to bear with it. You know what I mean? It's the great bank robbers, but they like Robin Hood. You know what I'm saying? Everything has a moral to it. But yeah, I do understand. That's me first listening to NWA, Scarface from Texas. This 91, 92, 93, early Bad Boys, early Biggie, DJ Clue mixtapes. Like, me and Blue would sit in the crib, because remember, when the street lights came on, we had to be in the house. We would be in the crib and we would be drawing and we would be listening to like the new hip hop when the shit first comes. I mean, like when the DJ is breaking the song right there, when you had to tape it on a tape recorder and rewind that shit. That's where we came from. A Discord group art show or a YouTube night where people pull up and show a piece. Yes, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. It more than likely will be on Twitch, and Discord will be where we meet up, and then we're going to go to Twitch and we're going to show our stuff. Tomorrow, mañana, Sunday, our first episode with Brother Rich for Hip-Hopolis, our hip hop platform. That's going to be tomorrow. We're going to do it Sunday. So if you're not subscribed to that channel, please subscribe to that channel. You know, yeah, we all got to tell our story. And we got the art, we got the tools to tell our story now. So it's imperative that we tell. My story is a coming of age story. You know what I mean? That's how I'm positioning my story as a coming of age story to take y'all through the lenses of somebody who thrived and survived the 90s. I'm going to show it all. And I'm going to be respectful, of course. But shit, when I watch, I don't even watch Power. I don't even watch that shit with the 50 Cent be doing. No disrespect, but I don't watch that. But I've heard that it's a coming of age, like the Raising Canaan and all of that. They said it's coming of age. So I'm into shit like that. You feel me? Playing Mega Man, listening to America's Most Wanted. Like the juxtaposition was crazy back in those days. Like literally, we had the beginning of the gangster rap. We had conscious gangster rap. That was like Ice Cube with America's Most Wanted. You feel me? We had conscious gangster rap. And then we had X-Men comics, Spider-Man. You feel me? Like then we had the Nintendo games. We had Zelda. We had Metroid. We had fucking Double Dribble, the first Madden, Tecmo Bowl. Like, nigga. And then we had the gear. We had the fucking drip, the old polo shit, the Guess jeans. Huh? Like, bro, I don't know when you niggas was born. I don't know. I don't know I don't know, but what I do know is I am very pleased with the time that I was born. I would be pissed off if I was born in the 90s and I wasn't able to live through some of this shit that was going on in the 80s. I promise you. You know? Mike Tyson Punch Out. What? Come on now. Yeah, Joe Montana football. Basuda. You feel me? Basuda. Shout out to the 90s babies though. Y'all lit, you know what I'm saying? Y'all used to get super fly, you know what I mean? Y'all used to get super fly. Y'all was like the first generation of babies getting super fly. Cause when we was babies in the 70s, my nigga, we was dressing like Good Times, you know what I mean? We was dressing like Rerun for what's happening. It didn't happen yet. It's happening. It didn't happen to us yet. But the babies in the 90s, y'all had on J's, y'all had flat tops and shit. You know what I'm talking about? Bo Jackson was a beast. Remember, he used to run back the punt. Bo Jackson was he was a goddamn X-Men in Tecmo Bowl. Contra, Street Fighter. Don't let this turn into one of them nostalgia episodes, because we could get into we could go for hours on this shit, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? The Guess jeans with the pencil pocket. What are we talking about? The Guess jeans with the Carpenter Guess jeans, huh? The Oshkosh Bigosh top and bottom. The Coca-Cola pullovers. Like, what are we talking about? Your boy used to put it on, man. You feel me? Your boy used to put it on. Ninja Gaiden. What are we talking about? Street Fighter on Sega. Yeah, not the arcade one, the Sega one. Mortal Kombat. Finish him. What? Shit crazy. The Hirachis with the no socks. You had to put on the socks with the Hirachis. That was, whoo. Don't get your feet wet and you got on Hirachis. Shits will not come off. Jeans every color. The Guess jean suit, top and bottom. What do we call canal hoodies? Weigh 10 pounds. What are we talking about? Yeah, the ads and the marketing was better. Look, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that, Nashawn. You know I'm gonna show off tonight, man. Fuck it. Cause I want to inspire some people to get into their artistic bag, man. The shit is it's literally it's therapeutic, man. It's therapeutic. Shit, you not cross colors, huh? Man, I wish I could go back with a bag. I wish I could go back in the days with a YouTube check, my nigga. Like the things that I would do, I'm buying up everything. You feel me? I'm buying. Where's the beef? Remember that? Boombox on the shoulders. Huh? Where's the beef? I would go back in time and just start making clothes and shit. I would buy a factory and just start making shit. You know what I mean? Because that was the flex. I would go right to the Mark 125th and buy a booth next to Dapper Dan and stun on this and get some of the pointers from him. You know what I mean? All that. But yeah, let me show you the power of the Chat GPT. They have a native app now, right? So this right here is, I have a bottle of this in my house. It's called oud. How many people know about the oud, right? The Egyptian, the oud, that's from Dubai, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? It smells like money. The oud, right? So I went ahead yesterday and I made this poster and I said 80s advertisement. This looked like it could be in a Jet magazine. You know what I'm talking about? This looked like it could be in the Jet magazine right after the Beauty of the Week and whatnot. Yeah, the oud is the move. Yeah, that oud is you know what I mean? Straight from Dubai. I shit you not. Somebody came to the Nine Ether Fest and they blessed me with the oud from Dubai. It smelled like money, bro. When I put that shit on, I attract money, bro. I attract bread. I attract wealth. You know what I mean? I don't know what they put in it. So I did this advertisement right there because I'm about to start selling this shit. I didn't hit up the oud plug and we about to get the oud going. You know what I mean? So I made the flyer for that. Boom. Then we got some toys coming, right? For the 44 tops. And I told y'all before that G.I. Joe is my favorite toy out of all of the toys, right? G.I. Joe, I liked all of the toys, but there's nothing fucking with the G.I. Joe universe, in my humble opinion. Yeah, I could be wrong, but nothing is fucking with G.I. Joe. Like, that was a universe onto itself. And my dad, he didn't want us to be in the army and whatnot. You know, he's on his Black Power shit back in. Yeah, you know what I mean. You turn that shit off. He wasn't a fan of it, but you know, we was on our G.I. Joseph shit, hard body. You know what I mean? A nigga wanted to go. We wanted to sign me up. I'm ready to go. I was ready to jump out of airplanes for niggas. You know what I'm talking about? I was ready to jump out of helicopters for Uncle Sam. But that's what G.I. Joe did for us. But the packaging is like a G.I. Joe figure. You know what I mean? I did all of this with AI. You know what I'm saying? This is just the front end of it, right? Then I did this right here for my t-shirts, right? I said a 1980s advertisement. A 1980s advertisement. And it gave me that. This looks like Benetton. Who remembers Benetton, right? Who remembers the Benetton shit? Benetton was lit. Let me see if I got the Benetton. You feel me? We not playing. We not playing. You know what I mean? Got the oud in the building. Got the oud. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these things right here, I'm just sitting back and I'm creating. I'm in my creative bag and whatnot. And literally, it's good for the brain. You know what I mean? It's good for the mind and whatnot. It's good for reminiscing. People who like to reminisce and shit like that. You literally could start creating things. Look, boom. They go to Benetton ad. What we talking about? They go to Benetton ads. What we talking about? You know what I'm talking about? So I incorporated, right? I incorporated my own brand or my own design into a Benetton's ad. You feel me? We're going to talk about the Holy Five in a minute. We're going to talk about the five fingers of death in a minute. Let me just get through this right here. Because my next move is to go ahead and turn some of these cartoon like I want to turn Destro into somebody that I like. You know what I'm saying? I want Destro to look like a Moor. I want to dress Destro up like a Moor. You know, I want Cobra Commander to have a all red on, like he gonna have the red bandana all red. You know, I'm talking about Cobra Commander from the jungle. There's gonna be Cobra Commander for neighborhood. You know, what else did I create? I made this right here. I made there's another one for the toys. I made a bunch of shit, but these are just some of the things that I'm showing right now. But I promise you, this next upcoming class for the AI, we are going to go crazy. Look at that shit right there. Look at that shit right there, bro. Come on, man. Yeah, mama, I made it. Mama, I made it. You know? Mama, I made it. I'm a toy. Your boy is a toy. 19 keys at Sergeant Slaughter. Literally, we could take the master teachers and run them through a toy line. Juxtaposing things. This is something that A.A. Rashid taught me about. Juxtapose. That's how you got Alistair Whoopi and whatnot. He juxtaposed the two. So, you know, they gave me a whole goddamn storyline behind this toy. It's a whole, I got cards that come with the toy, like the 44 tops. The microphone is a torch. Shit crazy, man. Shit crazy, man. It's coming from the clouds, right? And it just so happens that it's a solar eclipse today in Aries. So I didn't want to do too much. I didn't want to overthink, you know what I mean? I didn't want to just overextend myself. And I just was like, let me just be creative today. Let me just tap into my inner child. You know what I mean? Let me just tap into my inner child. Let me let that nigga heal. You know what I mean? Let me go through my imagination. So I could reiterate to myself that no one could stop me. No Europeans. There's no mystery blockage. None of that shit. The only person that's gonna stop me is me at this point in the game. The only one that could slow me down is me, bro. No one else. And we have the tools that we need to stay occupied so we don't self-sabotage. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people sabotage themselves when there's nothing to do. When they feel like there's nothing to do, there's nothing new under the sun. I've exhausted everything. No, nigga. No, nigga. You stick around and shit will open up for you. You know what I'm talking about? Hang out a few. Kick, you know what I mean? Kick your feet up, my G. You know? Shout out to everybody who had the best day today, who spent their day doing what they like to do best on a Saturn day. Shout out to y'all. Even if you didn't know that it was a solar eclipse and whatnot, you still was in alignment. You still was in perfect alignment and whatnot. You feel me? There's nothing better to be unconscious conscious. That's when you know that there's somebody working behind the scenes for you. That's when you know that the ancestors are working in your favor and whatnot. They're in the background working for you because they're steering you in a direction so you do shit where you don't crash out and you don't jeopardize your freedom and your health and things of that nature. You're just going with the flow. So yeah, the heavy five from a 75 baby, you know what I mean? Because once again, the year is very important because that places you in front of the TV at 3 o'clock, and your favorite cartoons may be a little bit different from the brother and sister born in 85. No disrespect, no, nothing to take away. It's just a different time. So our heavy five for our generation: G.I. Joe, that's one. He-Man, that's two. Thundercats, that's three, right? Voltron, that's four. Let's go back through it. This is this is what built us. This is our GPU, my niggas. This is our programming. This is the shit. G.I. Joe, Voltron, He-Man, Thundercat, and Transformers is number 5. Honorable mentions, of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Of course, we can't leave them out. We are definitely beating anime. Let's stop it right now. We are definitely beating anime. Shout out to all of my anime babies. Shout out to the niggas grew up watching Teletubbies. No judgment. No judgment. No judgment. Captain Planet. That shit was a knockoff of a cartoon that we grew up watching. How about that? You know what I'm talking about? Honorable mention: Silverhawks, Mask. Honorable mention: Silverhawks, Mask. You know what I mean? These are honorable mentions. Smurfs. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. You know, all of that. But the top 5, the ones that was running shit, that kind of like got us in our bag, you know what I mean? Gave us the type of mind state and the imagination. Shout out to the Snorks and shout out to Qbert. Shout out to the Wonder Twins. Right. Shout out to Speed Racer. These are all honorable mentions, of course. The Flintstones and the Jetsons. These are all honorable mentions, and we are living in the age of the Flintstones and the Jetsons right now. That's crazy, right? That's Rocky and Bullwinkle. Honorable mention. What was that other one? Captain Planet, Captain Caveman, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Underdog. Man, that was my shit, bro. So all of them, you know, Strawberry Shortcake, My Little Pony, Care Bears, all of them are honorable mentions. Gumby, yeah, y'all on point. Inspector Gadget, of course. You feel me? Mighty Mouse, of course. Yes. You know, Heathcliff. You know what I mean? Space Ghost. You feel me? Heathcliff. Fraggle Rock. We had a lot of fucking shit, yo. We had a lot of stuff, pardon me. And I think that the video games might have changed that. Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck. Keep in mind when I'm saying this. When I'm saying these cartoons, y'all, for y'all, those that were born later, we didn't have video games at this time. We had arcade. And everybody didn't have a pocket full of quarters. You know what I mean? You had to pay like you weigh at the arcade. And they was robbing niggas at the arcade. So that's not something that we went to all of the times. We would lock down a Street Fighter game at the laundromat or something like that. But we didn't have video games like that. We didn't even really have, I mean, I was into comic books, but everybody wasn't on the comic books. The most domineering thing was the cartoon at 3 o'clock after school before Video Music Box. That was the shit running the game when we was coming up. I'm talking about 10, 11, maybe 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You feel me? Right up until a nigga became a teenager, This is what was running us. This was our programming. We didn't have 100 channels. We didn't have cable like that. They wasn't showing cartoons. They didn't have the Cartoon Network. So literally everybody was watching the same thing. That's one thing about our generation that the other generations differ. We had 5 channels and we had to watch everything together. The programming, there wasn't, we couldn't program like you know, they picking up tablets these days and they get to program. No, that's not how that shit worked. We would have to be home in front of the TV at a certain time and we will all get the download together. We will all get the download together. So when you go to school the next day, everybody was talking about the same thing because we all saw it at the same time. We all was in a house watching Michael Jackson's Thriller video like the shit was a world premiere. Yep, Spider-Man and X-Men on Saturday morning. You know what I mean? The Woody Woodpecker show. All of these things. Marvin the Martian, Felix the Cat, Sesame Street, the Muppets. Nigga, the Muppets, bro. Yeah, man, they turned that nigga into Hot Rod. I'm like, what are we doing? Remember the Transformers movie? I think it was like Christmas or something. We was all at home. Niggas did not know that the Transformer even had a movie. That shit came on TV and they murked Optimus fucking Prime. That was the beginning of the end, bro. Remember the Toxic Avenger? That was the beginning of the end. That's when shit started getting murky. They murked Optimus Prime. And then Cobra Serpentor took over. I remember that episode from G.I. Joe when Serpentor took over. But who the fuck was Hot Rod? That was like a Temu version of Optimus Prime. I started turning. They lost me after that. They started losing me. You know what I mean? Kung Fu Saturday mornings. Get your ass kicked by a nigga with some Kung Fu slippers on. And it wasn't a funny thing, man. You get embarrassed. You know what I'm talking about? They hitting you with flying kicks in front of your shorty and whatnot. That wasn't what's up. Fantastic Four. Yeah, they killed Duke. I think they killed Duke in the episode where they introduced Serpentor. I was like, leave him dead. I wasn't into Duke like that. You know what I mean? But they murked Optimus, y'all. And then gave him a real if you're gonna murk a nigga, give him and you bring him back better. They brought him back wild zesty type. Like, nigga, what the fuck? Yeah, that was the beginning of the end. That's when they started losing me. They started losing me after that. You feel me? They started losing me. I had to tap out. Like, nah, man, y'all can't do that to Optimus. He ain't. What did he do to any of y'all? All he wanted to do was ride around and pick people up. You know, the Kung Fu Theater. Yes. I remember when we went to St. Croix when we were young, they used to show in the movie theaters on Saturday, it was 5 cents to watch. No, I think it was a quarter, and you get to watch Kung Fu like all day, if I could remember. Those was the days, man. 50 cents, a quarter to watch a movie, bro. Oh man, Dennis the Menace. That was my shit. Fat Albert. Yeah, that was OG right there. That was the OG crew right there. Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, they came along. That's MTV days. Optimus was MLK. That's deep. And who was Megatron? Malcolm X? Transformer toys. Yeah, they was the best. Transformer toys. Spin City, that is Spin City, man. Spin Man, you got the remix. We remix it. Oh man, that's my dad's favorite movie, Christmas Story. That's one of my favorite movies too. Do you know that I stuck my tongue to a goddamn I'm embarrassed to even talk about this. I had to talk about my toe the other day, but literally, me and Blue Pill, we watched. Of course, we had to we did a double dare. I dare you. I double dare you. I double dare you. Stick your tongue on the freezer, because the refrigerators back in the days had this iron rod, right? They used to have ice on it. It used to get mad cold. It was like an iron rod back in the days on the freezer in the old refrigerators. Why I stuck my tongue on that shit, and it was over. Stuck my tongue on the freezer, and I had to, like, when your tongue is stuck on the freezer, you don't think about unplugging the freezer. You don't think about unplugging the refrigerator so it could thaw out. The shit was sending shocks because my tongue started freezing. I literally lost piece of my tongue. This shit is embarrassing, man. I mean, I was a troubled kid, man. I need help. I still need help. Yo, I went to school the next day with mad gouts around my tongue. You know your tongue grows back, right? You'll shoot your eye out. Do you know your tongue grows back? I didn't know this. I had to find out that we are half starfish. Yes, my tongue grew back. I had to get a BBL for my tongue. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, mad traumatic too. It wasn't nothing to laugh about. They was laughing at me. I was the fucking butt of the jokes in my house. Then at school they was laughing at me, but a nigga tongue was really hurting. You feel me? And then later on in life, I drop a TV on my toe. Yeah, I got struggles in life, man. I got struggles in life. Saliva repairs anything. Well, you right about that, because it took me about a week or two and I was back to business. I was a whole new piece grew back. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I was doing, yeah, that you said that's white. Look, we was in the house unsupervised. We was latchkey kids. Right? We was unsupervised with nothing to do. Now, if I had Chat GPT back in those days, I would have been occupied. But the cartoons went off. We was bored and whatnot. We ain't have nothing to do. So niggas started doing triple dare, double dare. We would do truth or dare every day. It just so happened that this truth or dare involved me doing some dumb shit that I still regret to this day. But you live and you learn, right? You live and you learn. At least I didn't do that shit outside, as get my tongue stuck to a pole outside and have the fire department come and get me and whatnot. At least that didn't happen, you know. But it was a bloody scene, you know. 70s babies raised in the 80s. Yeah, we used to do crazy shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We used to do some crazy stuff. I don't know where our brains was at. It might have been that red 40 hitting us, because the red 40 back then, it ain't like the red 40 today. You know what I'm talking about? The red 40 back then it had niggas nose sweating. That's how much chemicals they was giving us. A nigga nose used to be sweating eating some of them damn sweets. You know? It was all of that head spinning. Right. Niggas is doing we doing helicopters on our head handstands and shit. Like, I mean, bruh. And here we are stoning these young kids to death, judging the shit out of them when we literally were retarded in their age bracket. They kind of Riri, but they not Riri like we was. They not Riri like we was. You know what I mean? They slightly Riri, and we nervous because we like, man, I know how crazy I was. We don't want you niggas to be that crazy. You know? Cause we come from the era of BB guns. These little niggas got real assault rifles. We was pulling up with air pistols, my nigga. You feel me? We was pulling up with air pistols with BB guns, popping people in the ass. Pop, pop. You know? We was running down on you with the BB gun. For real, for real. And they just upgraded, you know? And then and then after the BB gun came the super soakers. Yeah, the BB guns and the slingshots. You know what I mean? And the slingshots made out of wood from the boys club, the Boys and Girls Club. They used to have the slingshots made out of the cars and everything. And then it was the water guns, and then it was like the water balloons and shit. Water balloons with bleach in it. Eggs that was in the freezer that was rotten. Remember that? Like when my niggas started going dark Vader in the hood, that's when it really got dark. They was throwing rotten eggs, iced out eggs. Like they'll take an egg and crack it, put it in the freezer, and then throw that shit at you. It'd be a broken egg, but it was frozen. Yes, and we used to do a lot of torturing back in those days. All younger siblings were getting tortured. Let's be clear. All pets, cats and dogs, were being tortured. Let's be clear. If Peter knew what I was in the house doing with the cat, man, oh man, them niggas I would have a Rico on me right now. You feel me? But video games and shit, I guess that shit saved us. The iPhone in a way, I don't know, because we had a terrace. We lived on a 6th floor with a terrace, and we were unsupervised. Do I need to continue? We had an open air terrace. We was on a 6th floor, which was the top floor, and we was unsupervised on weekdays. Man, oh man. We would have motherfucking sniping contests from we would have to lay down on the terrace, because if you was in the street, you just got hit with some ice and you look up, you like, what the fuck? And we were standing up, you would see us. So we literally had to crawl on our bellies and pelt people with ice, with carrots, with pennies. Like we was fucking dangerous. We was throwing everything off of the terrace, bro. I promise you. We was hitting cars. We was hitting pedestrians. Like, bro, we was on one, man. We was on one, bro. You know? Shit, I lit a firecracker at my grandmother's house, bro. A fucking smoke bomb. Playing around with a lighter. Didn't want it. Playing around with a lighter. I lit a fucking smoke bomb. And this is not even my grandmother. This is my stepmother's mother's house. So it's my step grandmother. Man, I think they barred me from going back there for about a year, bro. Remember the smoke bombs, the little red ones with the mad smoke in it? I'm playing around. I didn't think that it was gonna light. That bitch lit, and the fucking house got smoked out, bro. They was ready to pack me up and ship me off to Honduras, my nigga. Man, so I mean, I promise you, childhood was kind of cuckoo. Was it a cherry bomb? No, it was a smoke bomb. It was a smoke bomb. It wasn't a bomb that blew up. It was a smoke bomb. We used to have smoke bombs and everything that would smoke things out. And it smoked out the whole crib. And I was like, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know if I got a beating or not. I don't know. You know, when you bury some shit, I just remember the smoke bomb going off and my face. And I was like, oh my goodness, what the and then Blue looking at me with the look of disgust and just like, how did you like I let him down? Like, bro, are you fucking serious? Yeah, they had the 6-pack, the green, the red, and the blue. Remember the stink bombs? Oh man, stink bombs was crazy. We used to throw stink bombs at girls after school and whatnot. Remember the little shit that it was a pack for 25 cents and you throw it and they pop the little white twisted up things. They was like they had like gunpowder in them and you would throw them shits and they be popping. Oh, I love those. Oh my goodness. The snaps. Oh no, the snaps was the poppers. The snaps was the we had the snap gun. They had the snapper gun. The poppers is what I'm talking about. Yes, the poppers. I love those shits. I would empty out the whole pack and put it pop, 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 pop. Then you got to step on some of them and whatnot. Yeah, I love that. I was into that. So let's get off of nostalgia. Shout out to everybody in the DeLorean. I love the nostalgia sessions and whatnot. I might even go and animate this shit so we could see the pictures of what it looks like. I might even go and animate it. I want to talk about the situation with young Scooter, right? A young rapper who people may not be familiar with him, but he's very, very known in Atlanta. And there's this thing going on in Atlanta where all of the local rappers, not all of the local rappers, of course, but the hometown heroes, right? Prior to young Scooter, it was Trouble who died, right? Then it was Bankroll Fresh who died, right? A lot of the homegrown. Then it was Mozzie. Remember Mozzie? Right? I remember I got a story about Mozzie and whatnot. I'll tell it one day. But he was in the streets for real, for real. Mozzie, right? Trouble. Scooter. Lotto Savage, Slim Duncan, right? Speaker Knockers. These are homegrown people who didn't break out yet, right? Atlanta has this thing where Shorty Low, right? Shorty Low didn't necessarily break out of being a local jokel. He didn't break out yet. Bankroll Fresh he wasn't like, he kind of broke out, but he was still homegrown. Like these are hometown heroes that Atlanta is losing. These is people from the curb. Yeah, Little Key. You know what I'm saying? Shorty Low. These are Rich Homie Quan. These are hometown heroes. Most of them, they all come from the streets. Some of them was still in the streets, but we not here to judge nobody's position in life type shit. It is what it is. These are artists who make art, and that art fits categories. You know what I mean? Rico Wade, a hometown hero that was unknown to the rest of the world. Not to say that they didn't know Rico Wade, they don't know his contribution. They don't know how much the city loved him and whatnot. Takeoff. That hurt Atlanta. You didn't grow up with Shorty Low? Shorty Low was on T.I.'s tail, bro. T.I. was very scared of that dude. Yes, Buddha Genie. Always got to give it up to Buddha Genie, man. You said the feds is listening, and what that means? I'm not talking about nothing federal. Shit, I'm not into none of that. Man, Dollar, remember Dollar? And I knew who Dollar was. Very talented. DJ Unk, huh? The body count in Atlanta It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Yeah, a nigga got on a plane and went to LA and body dollar. You know? So it's a lot of artists from the A, unfortunately, that haven't made it to see their you know, they haven't made it to see the fruits of their labor and whatnot. Yeah, XXX is from Florida. You feel me? But yeah, these are Atlanta rappers that I'm talking about who have made their transition and it was untimely, right? And it's like, what the fuck is going on in a city where, you know, these artists are kind of like mayor. They supposed to be protected. They supposed to be, you know what I mean? They supposed to be out the streets. You feel me? They're supposed to have management, A&Rs. You know, they're supposed to be working on their craft. You feel me? They're supposed to be on the road and whatnot, on the Chitlin circuit, getting to that bread. You know? And that's not the case. You know? That's not the case. Yeah, school and the way that they said that he died on his birthday was crazy. And it just shows how lucky what's my dude from Texas, Sauce Walker is. Because Sauce Walker, he could have got hit. He got hit in the leg and whatnot. If he got hit in the same artery that Scooter ruptured, because he was jumping over a fence running from the popo, and he ruptured the artery in his leg and died. Like, that's the most type of shit that I ever heard of. Like, that's like a spell in a sense. You know what I mean? And once again, they playing with a lot of black magic in Atlanta. And I ain't talking about Rich's channel either. They playing with a lot of black magic in Atlanta. You understand? They playing with a lot of quote unquote dark magic in Atlanta. You know? Heavy. Now the police ain't shoot him. He didn't get clapped. He was running from them and he jumped over some fence and then they say he ruptured an artery in his leg. And I'm like, I never heard of no shit like that, but go ahead. You know what I mean? And yes, a lot of the artists, Young Thug is the most visible one out of the bunch. Young Thug is the most visible one who was dealing with the quote unquote the dark arts. You know what I mean? Sacrificing. When they came to his crib, he was sacrificing the goat when they locked up Young Thug. Then they had a video with what's Young Key's brother's name? The older one. He was sacrificing the goat. He went live after a ceremony. And I didn't even know you could do that. I thought that shit was private and whatnot, that you're not supposed to show none of that off. But the nigga went live and he had like blood on it. He had on all white, but you could tell he had on the goat. He had the goat blood on him. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then he's on live talking about Gunna. Like, yeah, I don't fuck with Gunna. He a snitch. After you do a fucking ritual, my nigga. You know? So there's people in Atlanta, right? Because you know Atlanta is a heavily quote unquote religious place. They do the whatchamacallit, They're like Baptists and whatnot. Feel me? Highly religious. They got mega churches in this bitch, all up and down. These niggas is Baptists, and they heavy on the church shit, but they also heavy on the hoodoo on in the backwoods and whatnot. So they saying that Young Thug did some type of ritual to get out of his situation because of the fact that he was able to walk out of that place, you know, with that deal that he got, which is it's kind of like it's a deal. It's not the best fucking deal in the world. You know what I mean? They literally have him tied by the balls, but it is what it is. He walked up out of there without going to jail for life, and he was facing life, right? Yeah, Lil Gotti, he's Ifa, right? That's what I was talking about. That's Lil Key's brother. Lil Key died from an overdose, right? About 2 years ago. So the brothers and sisters that are in the streets that are doing hard crimes, right? That are doing hard crime, like murder for hire and fentanyl and shit like that. They are tapping in to the dark magic to protect them. They're doing that in Philadelphia, right? Not just Skrilla. They got the Spanish niggas that are doing the Palo, and they doing drill, right? Drill music, but they're incorporating black magic into the drill music in Philadelphia and Kensington, to be exact. And Skrilla was the one that kicked it off, but you got the Spanish niggas going with it as well, right? They got Dominicans and they got Puerto Ricans in Philadelphia who get busy, who be murking shit, and it's connected to the island and everything, and they doing the magic. He said, "Not one chicken in sight." So another form of witchcraft that's taking place in the public, right? And to see rappers dying left and right, they're putting out the murder videos on all of the rappers. Why is that? Did they pull out Selena's video when she got murked? Did they pull out any videos of anybody from another race that ever got murked? I don't know if people from Hollywood be getting killed and whatnot, but when they put out murder videos, right? They put out the murder video for Sauce Walker. They put out the murder video for Mo 3. This is all within a few days, right? So you have young teenagers, you got the young teenagers, right? And they are being exposed to snuff films of people who they can quote unquote relate to, and they can listen to these people's music and they can watch their videos and interviews. When we were watching Faces of Death, we didn't know the people in the videos. We didn't have a connection to the people in the videos. We didn't care that we were watching snuff films. We were just being desensitized because there was never a time prior to that that you could watch somebody take their last breath. Never. When we were coming up, like I was explaining and whatnot, shit was sanitized. Like shit was censored and sanitized when we were coming up. The thing that opened up everything was cable TV. And even with cable TV, you could not watch Faces of Death, right? But the younger generation, they are watching the real Faces of Death. They're watching people that they have in their hearts and their minds literally get whacked out in front of them. They're whacking out murals, they bodying niggas, and it's like if somebody dies in the culture now, the blogs would be like, yeah, we're just gonna wait 2 more days for the body cam, or we're gonna wait a few more days to watch the death video. Then we're gonna do a reaction to it. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm giving y'all a snapshot of the minds of some of the younger generation, what they call the YNs, and why they are so desensitized and why they dehumanize and whatnot, and why mental illness is doing what it's ravaging our community. Why? Because you're not supposed to be watching snuff films. You're not supposed to be watching bums get knocked out. You're not supposed to be watching all of the things that you're exposed to. There's no restrictions. There's no guardrails and whatnot. So there was a story, right? I'm gonna pull it up because they buried this story. They don't really talk about it, right? People are not really familiar with this story. Kenyan sue Open AI, right? Give me 1 minute. Let me pull this up. So it's no secret that the people at Meta are pieces of S, right? Like it's no. There's a book out, as a matter of fact, and they're exposing Meta, right? They're exposing Meta, and they're talking about how horrible the Facebook hierarchy is, right? So here's a story right here where Kenya, right? Kenyans, Africans, they sued Meta because they basically were paying them $2 an hour, right? To basically clean up Facebook. So they were the first wave of content review. And they opened up a center in sub-Saharan Africa in Nairobi. And they contracted with a California subcontractor called Sama. So this is how the game works, y'all. For everybody that's in the game, you know how the contract game works. And I'll tell everybody that's not familiar with it how it works. So I'm the contractor. I get a $5 million contract from Meta to say, the Meta says, I want somebody to moderate the content 24/7. I put in a bid. I'm the company in California and I win the bid. Then I got $5 million contract and I got a bid, but I'm in California and people want to pay $15, $16, $17 an hour. I don't know what the quote unquote minimum payment, or I don't know what it is, but I know in Atlanta it's like 17, 15, 17, right? So instead of paying people, because you got $5 million and you want all of that money that you can get, what do? You subcontract to the third world. That's capitalism in a fucking nutshell. That's how everybody's doing things. Okay. That's why there's no factories in America. It's all in China, Philippines, motherfucking India, Pakistan, where they paying them niggas with goats. And they paying them in their currency, and their currency is not fucking with the USD. So they exploited these Kenyans and basically had them working at Meta, and they were being exposed to snuff films. They were being exposed to beheadings. They were being exposed to porn. They were being exposed to knockout videos. They were being exposed to people unaliving themselves on live. All of these things for $2 an hour, right? And they were like, yo, we encountered mental issues as a result of that. They have, fuck desensitizing, they were going through mental health anguish, right? They were going through mental health anguish. They were having breakdowns and whatnot. They were going through it because they were exposed to things that you're not supposed to be exposed to, right? So when you go to war and whatnot, and you see what's going on in war. Now, this is meta. Look at what I'm not finished because OpenAI did the same thing. Let's go to OpenAI in Africa. OpenAI was doing the same thing, right? So all of these companies have virtual assistants, and they're basically utilizing the continent, right, for cheap labor, right? So somebody from Meta called up OpenAI and was like, yo, go to Africa, go over there. Them niggas are sweet. You know what I mean? So they went and found the same niggas and paid them $2. OpenAI used Kenyan workers on less than $2 per hour to make ChatGPT less toxic. Now, I mean, cultural exchange, shit. I mean, bruh. I mean, she's up talking about, $2 ain't bad. You know what I mean? Because $2 is something. Don't get all, don't get your panties in a bunch. $2 is strong in Kenya. So $2 is gonna go further in Kenya than it will in Brooklyn right now. So we're looking at it like, oh my goodness, they paying them $2. But niggas in Kenya was like, we lit. That's the whole Fiverr business model. Your $5 that you throw away, that you don't value, that you look at like, oh, I'm gonna just blow this $5. No, that $5 could get your goddamn website design. That $5 could get you a logo. That $5 could get you a voice actor. Then he might be from Bangladesh, right, or somewhere else, but that was the game for 10 years. It's over now. It's damn near over because AI is taking everything. But that was the game since like 2000. I was teaching this shit in class for about 10 years. The Fiverr game has been going on for 10 years. How do you think like this whole movement of young YNs, like young kids, right? I don't call them all YNs, but there's a movement of young designers. They got clothing lines. They're making mad bread. They making a lot of money with their clothing. They selling clothes. They selling shirts for $150, $200. You know what I mean? You see the look, the opium look, the all black, the gothic look, the baggy jeans, all of these clothing brands that sprouted up out of nowhere, right? World Vision, all of these $1 million brands, they were using Fiverr. They were using Fiverr. And then after Hellstar, they were using China. And then Alibaba came into the game. So their suppliers and their manufacturers are on the dime. They're getting it for the low, and they're getting it for cheap labor and a quick turnaround. That is the free market in a fucking nutshell. That's it. That's how people in a European, he positioned himself for about 100 years as the middleman between China and the US, the South America and the US, wherever they were manufacturing and bringing goods in, he positioned himself as the middleman to say, I'm gonna buy it for $1 and I'm gonna resell it for 10, 15, 20 to $30. That was capitalism at its core, and niggas just caught on. Niggas just caught on because our version of Alibaba was the nigga Frank Lucas going to Asia to get the heroin plug. But where was the Frank Lucas to go to China and open up a sneakers factory? Where was the Frank Lucas that went to China to find out how to get wholesale wigs and shit? You know what I mean? We didn't need the heroin, Mr. Frank. You know what I'm saying? That destroyed us. We didn't need the heroin. We didn't need the dope. The dope destroyed us. While these people are putting their children's children through college selling you Nikes, selling you jeans and fucking sweatshirts and hoodies. You know what I mean? How is it people who wants reparations, but you niggas don't got no cotton? I don't understand. Like, I literally went and spent 200 and change on cotton today. Nashawn and anybody else in the building who has a clothing line, you get it. You know what that is. I spent mad money. I spent 200 and change on some cotton, my nigga. And I bought it from Asians in Atlanta. And in Black Atlanta, I'm buying cotton from Asians. Make it make sense. You know? Make it make sense. I'm buying, niggas is buying hair from Koreans, cotton, the same cotton that our people used to pick. We buying cotton from the China, man. And I'm like, how we in an all black city and you niggas don't got cotton? And y'all talk, that's to be the first rapper. Fuck $1. Give me some cotton. Do you know how much cotton? I would rather you pay us in cotton than dollars, bro. Do you know what you could do with cotton, my nigga? Do you know what you could do with cotton, bro? You said grow your own. Yeah, I mean, who gonna pick it? Who gonna pick it? Because I ain't picking it. One bale is 35K. Talk black to me. Like, get your cotton back. You know what I'm talking about? We need to start that movement up. I want some Egyptian cotton. You know what I'm talking about? Get your cotton back, because that's where the money is at. They selling us all of our stuff back in our face because all they did was master the middleman game. We supposed to be the middleman. We're not the customer. We need to be the prosumer. We need to become the middleman. Henceforth, why Donald J. Trump is throwing tariffs all around the place. He did the same fuck shit before he left. He put on tariffs and he was hating on entrepreneurs such as myself. I remember when prices went up because he was acting a goofy ass Queens nigga, a goofy ass fake ass failed billionaire who don't want to see brothers and sisters come up. That's what that shit was. That's how I interpreted it. They like, these niggas is getting money too quick. We got to create an obstacle. The Matrix responds to Neo when Neo levels up. So they like, yo, we got to make it hard. These niggas is making tax-free money. They not working for us anymore. They mad arrogant. You know what I mean? They telling us to kiss their ass. They not working for, they're literally resigning. There's the great resignation taking place. You know? And they try to figure out where these niggas getting, where's Generation Z getting all of this bread from? These little niggas got money spreads and whatnot. They talking on a money phone. Where's the money coming from? Entrepreneurship, a few jugs and whatnot. And the youth figured out a way to become the motherfucking middleman. That's what happened. They figured out how to become the middleman. And the old heads didn't. The old heads did not figure out the fucking game. They didn't. The baby boomers, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be judgmental and all of that, but y'all didn't build that bridge to China. That's what we needed. We needed a bridge to India and to China, because that's where the bread was at. And the young generation had to boss up and teach themselves on how to get to the bread like that. That wasn't something that the rappers told us to do. That wasn't something that the athletes told us to do. That wasn't something that the actors told us, the politicians. None of the old heads told us that. Look at me talking about us like I'm a young nigga. They didn't say that. They didn't do that. That was something that was figured out by the younger generation. You know? So I say all of that to say that, you know, this could be utilized as a prevention to stop the scourge of our brothers and sisters, right? Flying into the federal penitentiary system in the state and whatnot. You know what I mean? Taking penitentiary chances embodying themselves. My nigga, you got options. You got options. You got options. You could get rich with your talent right now. I don't know what it's going to be like in a few years, but I know right now you could get rich with your talents. Work smarter, not harder. You know, you said tariffs are tactics to bring the inflation down. Then the money printer goes brr. Let's see if the formula works. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. You know, I'm an advocate for bringing the factories back to America. But the factories that they're going to bring back to America will not have humans working in it. You know, it will not have humans working in it. It will be AI, like how Amazon factories are right now. They're going to spend money on the AI. Henceforth, why companies are firing people by the thousands, because somebody came into that company and showed them something, a technology, and was like, nigga, you don't need these people anymore. You don't need these people no more. We got the robots. We got the motherfucking agents. You know what I mean? We got the workflows, the automated workflows, and they show them how it works. And then and they make the call to the shareholders, and they cut the mother and they say, look, we could save $10 million. And all we got to do is invest 2 of that into the AI, but that 8 million could be all profit. Cut them. And then they cutting and they cutting and they cutting and they cutting. And made in America is definitely pricey, right? Made in America is definitely pricey. So even if it's made in America, it's never going to be that $1 for a shirt that you could get overseas, or the 2 or 3 or 4. It's not going to be that. The best thing that you could do is build your factories with AI and get that cotton for reparations and run it up. You know what I mean? $1 trillion industry that we should own. They talking about segregated bathrooms and shit like that. Nigga, segregated socks and underwear too. Somebody got to fix and install the machines. The Chinaman is gonna do it for us. What you talking about? Or a nigga from India. They work for us. You know what I'm talking about? They gonna work for us. They don't have a problem with that. Remember, the younger generation is hip hop. Nigga, they work for us. What are you talking about? We put some Kendrick on. You know? Niggas work for us. Facts. You know what I'm talking about? They work for us. Are they gonna tell a shorty, a little baddie, no? Have you? I've never seen that happen. I never seen nobody from another culture tell one of our baddies no. That just don't happen. I've never seen them tell somebody who is a black man who knows who he is and he's standing on business. I never seen nobody tell him no. They'll be like, I'll get right back to you, my nigga. If you look like you about something and you throwing that money around, they're not telling you no. So we have them to put the machines together, and then we also have us, and we got AI to ask it, how the fuck do you put this machine together? You know? So the ball is in our court. You know? I don't know what they be trying to tell people and trying to convince them, but our stocks are still good around the world. We still lit like that. You know what I mean? However, we are known for twerking. We're known for making music. We're known for some of the lower hanging fruits. I want us to be known for entrepreneurship. I want us to be known for our inventions. I want us to be known for being solutionaries, problem solvers, hackers. Not the type of hackers that are stealing shit, but the type of hackers that are healing shit, fixing things. That's what a hacker is. You hack a problem to solve it. So we got it in us. You know, We just got to activate it. But that's what I want to be seen as on a global scale. Fuck all that other bravado, fake macho shit. That's not paying. That's not bringing nothing back to us. We're not drug dealers. We don't need a machismo. That's for cartels and shit. You know what I mean? We need to be recognized for our intellect. We need to be recognized for our ingenuity. We need to be recognized for the fact that we gotta upgrade the culture. Yes, Pasquiats. We need a culture rebrand. We need to upgrade the fucking culture. It's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's broke, so we gotta fix it. We gotta incorporate whatever we know about our culture. We have to marry that to the technology and to some of these new formulas, and then we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. The YNs are coming home in 30 years. You know what I mean? They're gonna come home 30 years, 40 years, and we'll have something for them to do when they come home. Type shit. You know? Jomo took Neon to the projects. Man, these streamers are so the streamers, man. What are we gonna do with these fucking streamers, man? The streamers is the new thoughts in the culture, man. They passing them around. The streamers is the new thoughts. They got Neon everywhere. I seen I Show Speed in China becoming a monk doing kung fu. You said, what is it gonna take for our people as a collective to get our shit together, Red? A blueprint. The same way that they got Project 2025. We need a blueprint. We're never gonna have a leader. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. We're never gonna have one leader. That's not gonna happen. Niggas' egos is too inflamed these days. It's not gonna happen. Nobody's gonna listen to one person. You know, Barack Obama was our last hope before we found out that all of the crazy shit about him. We didn't even know his name was Barry. Right? But he was our last hope. Black people ain't fucking with black people right now. I ain't trying to hear nothing. We need a plan and not a man. We need a plan and not a man. Because when the man dies, the plan dies. We need a plan and not a man. They can't kill the plan, but they could kill the man. You feel me? We don't need another leader. We need an organization that's leaderless, but it still has some type of structure. Okay? And we need to vote with our dollars, right? Once we agree to the plan, the way that you agree to the plan is that you'll sign up to a blockchain and you will be counted. We have to have a better count of our community. The Indians, they know how many they have on board that are part of their collective. The Asians who have illegal immigrants and people who are visaed up and documented over here, they know the count of people, right? And their people are not working against each other. When you're in a race against other races, you will be you will be taken to the back and dealt with as anybody who commits treason is dealt with. Because if you sabotage your own race in the midst of a race or a marathon, then you are a traitor and you're no good to the people that you're trading against or the people that you're helping. You're no good to either one, because if you are a traitor to your own people, the people that you was working, they're going to knock you off because they can't trust you because you don't have no integrity. You turned on your own people. You're not an asset, you're a liability to them. So they're not gonna bring you to the platinum party after you help them win. They're gonna knock you off, or they're gonna put you in a guest house or something. You know what I mean? And we got to get off of that mentality and whatnot. We are a race. Even though it's a social construct, there's a race literally taking place right now. And you can't look around to other people that don't look like you for help, because they are on code right now. Whatever dog whistles had to be, the shit has been blown. Everybody understands what this is at this point. They understand. They could look around and they know what it is versus what it's not. So once we get a head count, then we could begin to build our own budget. We are responsible for our own budgets. Fuck all of that taxpayer money that niggas, you ain't getting none of that. Yo, we gotta wait to see if this program gets accepted into the budget. Nigga, you still on to that? You might as well grab a pipe and a needle, nigga. Like, that ain't it. That ain't it. We living in a new day and time. You got to be responsible for your own upward mobility. If you can't read the writing on the wall of what this European is telling you, if you can't read the writing on the wall and see what they're telling you, they're like, yo, get it how you live. And if you step out of line, the feds literally has this whole shit surrounded. Like they got hip hop under siege. It's a federal siege on hip hop. You do anything out of order, your ass is grass. Feel me? They Rico is coming through with the taco meat showing. You don't want, you know what I mean? So they're like, you're confined within the parameters of legalities. You can't do no criminal activities. You don't even have an underworld anymore. We wiped that out. So you can't even rely on your underworld. You don't have an underbelly anymore. We kind of wiped that out. All of them niggas is scragglers and vagabonds. Right? So they looking at Black America like, what are y'all gonna do? Y'all online arguing about dumb shit. Y'all online arguing about who's from this place and all of this stupid shit. Y'all are distracted. Y'all are at war with each other. There's no way a house divided cannot stand. So we got ops, and our ops are in power on the chessboard right now. This ain't no fear mongering shit. It's the same type of conversation that anybody would have when you on the floor. It's the fourth quarter, and the coach tells you to huddle up, and he gives you an assessment of what the fuck is going on in the game right now. You got ops. Those ops is linking up with other ops and other ops. Those ops wasn't in power, and now they are in power. So they're taking out their little fragility, their inferiority complexes. They want to puff their chest out. They want to fake pop their collar. All of that fake ass shit that, that the Snow Kings that y'all are into are doing. You know what I mean? You're Mr. Donald Trump and his little bandwagon of weirdos and whatnot. They're trying to pop their collar, but there's nothing to pop. There's nothing to pop. You know what I mean? Like, it's pathetic what they're out here doing. It's pathetic. You could literally, you could see the inferiority complex just leaking from them. You feel me? But because our people don't have a mind state, we're not on a collective mind state. We're not on one accord. The threads are going. Everybody is losing their noodles and whatnot because we're not on one accord. Now, I'm not talking about us per se. I'm talking about our people. It's too many of them to ignore. You know what I mean? But because they didn't take a workshop or a master class to prepare them for what the fuck is going on, then they're like chickens with their heads cut off and whatnot. But we good because we were practicing and training And we were in class learning about these days and times that were in front of us. So fast forward back to what the answer about what it is that we're going to do. We're going to collectively come together and put a budget together, a weekly budget. Fuck a monthly or yearly, a weekly budget. The best thing that we got going for us right now is smart contracts and a blockchain. I'm going to leave it at that. The best thing that we got going for us right now is an open ledger, blockchain, and smart contracts, so we could bring the trust back, right? It's but so many things that you could fuck around and do this nefarious with your open ledger on a blockchain and smart contracts that will hold you to certain type of standards. You know what I mean? We're not going to get into this solution just doing shit the way that we was doing it before. Hell no. Hell no. This shit has to be refurbished, remixed, and reapproached from another angle. But the technology is here for us to do anything that we want to do right now. So yes, we need an open ledger. The minute a penny is moved, everybody needs to know where that penny is going. The minute a dollar moves, anything on an open ledger, you're open to see it. The blockchain will allow us to have our we don't have to worry about being deplatformed by these centralized sites and whatnot. We'll have a server in the ocean or across somewhere where it's safe, and we'll be on the blockchain, and we'll get our numbers up on the blockchain. So imagine if 100,000 of us signed up to a program where we are going to be, quote unquote, it's almost like an incubator. You know, it's an incubator. You give yourself 6 months and whatnot. You have a roadmap, you have an agreement, and you have a roadmap, and you have everybody on deck, and y'all move forward. I mean, I see it clear as motherfucking day. It couldn't happen like this if Donald Trump wasn't president. So him being president is a good thing. The pressure that these Peckerwoods is putting on niggas is a good thing. Yes, Bitcoin will be the collateral. I would rather gold be the collateral because niggas don't got Bitcoins. Not enough of us. You feel me? Not enough melanated people don't have Bitcoins. We might have to get some gold from the continent to leverage things. But once again, the power is in our numbers, and we're not focusing on our numbers. The power is in our numbers. It's 442 people here. Let's just say, for instance, and I'm not soliciting nobody because, that's not how I move. But $100 from 400 people. You feel me? That's the power in numbers. So imagine 40,000 of us. What is $20 to you? Right? What is $20 to you? If you can't put $20 towards a mission or your purpose, then you have no purpose. Because you literally, it costs money for me to leave the house. I pay $20 the minute the garage door opens up. Facts. You know what I'm saying? I pull right up in the gas station and gas them up. $20 the minute I come out the house. So yeah, Marvin Sapp said it best. You know what I mean? Lock the door on you niggas. It's gonna have to get to that at some point. We're gonna lock the door. Nah, I'm just playing. How do you get more purpose? Shit. I don't. Me personally, the purpose. Go outside. Go outside. Whatever city that you live in, just go outside and you'll get your purpose. I just gotta ride around Atlanta and I get my purpose. I'm like, damn, we gotta do better. All of that, hold your dollars and hit them economically. I ain't really even talking about that per se. I'm not a part of the boycott because niggas are boycotting and won't go shop with melanated people. You know what I mean? No, pool your resources and go shopping. That's what you do. Pool your resources together and build some shit. Build a fucking town. Build a building, build a data server. You know what I mean? Go get some Bitcoin as an investment group. So you can leverage some things. But purpose, I find purpose with the children. I find purpose when we gather and we come together as a community. That restores my purpose and gives me a new purpose. I just find purpose moving around this city and whatnot because I see the potential. I see the potential. Niggas got unrealized potential. It's a travesty that we got so much potential and we never realized it. We can't hold a charge. We can't hold water. We can't basically hold a charge. So niggas will be lit for a few days, but they can't hold it. They don't have discipline to hold it for 30 days. They can't hold the charge. So the best time for people like that to get in their bag is after they get bagged. They're going to have to get stepped on. They're going to have to get knocked out. They're going to have to get washed a few times. And then that'll bring back the discipline. But it's not even real discipline. It's discipline because you got your ass kicked. It's not discipline where you confident that you could kick ass. You're gonna be forced to do shit after getting washed a few times. And that's unfortunate, but that's just where we are because our people have been complacent. Got to break them out of their comfort zone. Niggas is in a comfort zone. They got remote control. They got everything that they want, especially where I live. They done made this shit so accessible that it's like pigs for slaughter. They just fattening the pigs. They giving you niggas cable, all of your channels for sports. You could watch all the NBA games. Now you could bet on the games. You go to Walmart, you buy your Dickie suit, your everything is in Walmart. Then you go to Target, then you go to Costco's, then you go to Sam's Club. The TVs is 80 inches for $50 in Walmart. You know what I mean? And you think it's lit. No, nigga. They're literally fattening you up and making you the most comfortable, complacent group of motherfuckers who have ever walked this planet. The sheep ready for slaughter. Right? Like how the Matrix showed us they showed people as batteries and whatnot. That's what it's turned into. People as batteries at this point. And there's a system that's literally feeding off of that battery. You could see it. You could look around and you could see that we are the battery. That if we took the batteries out of the toy wouldn't light up anymore. We keep it lit up. Even with Donald Trump in office, they're still using us as a battery. Why do you think that they are doing everything for our reaction? Our reaction is an output. They don't need us to be in favor of them. That's not how they work. They don't need us to be in favor of them. They need us to react to their fuckery. They get energy like that. They need us to be scared. They need us to be confused. They need us to be arguing. Have you been on the internet lately dealing with hip hop? Do you see how egregious? Remember when I was talking about hip hop media in 2024, how detrimental it was and how downtrodden it was? Now, fast forward, you could literally step in that arena and see everything that I'm talking about. Look at the media. Look at hip hop media. Loose Cannon? Whack 100? Brick Baby? Nigga, these are journalists? Whackademics? Adam 12? Like, these are fucking journalists. These are the people that are telling the story of the culture. You got federal informants. You got gangbangers. You got killers, people who kill other people, right? Killers as journalists. They're lampooning as fucking journalists of the culture. Sitting up there telling war stories and federally indicted conspiracies, and they're using that as Hip hop journalism? Yeah, it's shit hop. Okay? It's shit hop. So the culture, once again, is in bad hands. It's in bad hands. It's in bad hands. And it's when those hands come up off of it, it's not like the culture is going to be stronger. It's not like it's going to be better. It's not like it's going to be more quote unquote more exonerated. No, it's going to be broken, and it's going to be even more downtrodden and more chaos and whatnot. And somebody going to have to come along and fix that shit up. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of work. They did wild damage in this industry, right? All of these rappers that I done named off a whole slew of rappers from Atlanta that lost their lives, you know? And some of these rappers that I'm speaking of, they were like emissaries in their hood, mayors, you know what I mean? They brought different parts of the city together that were going against each other and shit like that. So it's just a lot of work to be done. It's a lot of work to be done. I know that there's some soldiers out there. I know that there's soldiers out there who are listening to this, and y'all might be the ones that is going to turn this thing around and bring some type of integrity back to this situation that we find ourselves in. Because it's missing that. It's missing the integrity. It's missing that shit that whatever made it work before. Because think about it. It was in the hands of Benzino. Like, it's not like this shit just got fucked up. It was in the hands of Benzino and Dave Mays back in the days. Like, this hip hop shit been compromised. It was in the hand of No Neck Benzino. They been had this shit in a headlock. It been compromised. So shout out to Slauson Girl. Shout out to everybody who we went from Bobby Hemmett to Unc 607, right? What the fuck is going on? We went from Bobby Hemmett to Unc 607. You know? It's crazy. Is the AI gonna take over and help clean it up? I don't know. We need more personalities out there, more journalists. You feel me? We need people from our community. Where's our people from our community at? What they be doing? Shout out to King Simon. What do the students do? Like, y'all have to move certain people out the way and take over. It's that type of time. The students of consciousness gotta take over. We need a conscious Kai Cenat. Like, how could these young kids sit around and play video games and make $100 million a year and just talk about whatever they talk about, right? And these are teenagers and young adults, so I don't expect them to be talking about world or have a world view, even though some of these kids are traveling the world more than the adults. They done been around the world already. The streamers, they taking over countries. These little niggas step into a country, the country shuts down, bro. Like, that's power. Feel me? When I Show Speed, he went to like India, some shit. They shut that shit down, bro. Bro, it looked like it was a mob in the streets. So we need a Kai Cenat that's conscious, that's gonna be playing video games, but he's gonna be talking sense. His team, his homies, they have a level of wokeness or consciousness or something that is beneficial and whatnot. We need some of these streamers that are conscious to go around the world and show us what the fuck is going on around the world, that they taught us that we're everywhere around the world. I need to see it. At this point, I want to see younger people's point of view. No disrespect to the elders and whatnot, but we are to be behind the camera. We are the production people to set the damn trip up. We the ones who set up the trip. We are the big homies. We need to be in the shadows and put the youth to work. That's how we gonna win. Get out the fucking way. You know, get out the way and start bringing up the future. Start bringing up the youth, the new energy. That's what we need to be highlighting, and that's who we need to be pushing to the forefront and whatnot. Where's our investments? Those will be we will rally behind them. We can invest in them. We can make sure that they go viral and do the things that they need to do. That's the time that's how I see it in a way. And I'm not going to disrespect or, you know, if you got consciousness, if you got light in you, if you have, there's no age to what we do. We're ageless. To be honest with you, we're kind of ageless. You can't really put an age to us. There's no age. However, there's something called experience. And a lot of the people in my age demographics who've been through what they've been through, I see them more as production. I see them more as the boss. I see them more as playing a role of executive producer, not the talent. You know, not the talent. You niggas should get a casting call and find where the new talent is at. You feel me? Can you sit on stream for 8 hours with the camera on you and the lights and everything in character and not break character? That's not an easy thing to do. Can't have a community without education. How much education does this community need? Just to be honest with you, this community has been getting education from Sonetta TV days up until today. There was not one day in consciousness ever since the rise of Sonetta HOK. They ain't been one day. They didn't take one day off in teaching the people. There's not been one day off. And for the day that's off, you was able to see the archives on YouTube and then on Blog Talk and then everywhere else. Like, you niggas is drowning in information. And the education from the institution, that shit is basura. That shit is basura. That's not real education. You feel me? They didn't even teach us about the black inventors. That's not real. That was a selected group of information. There's more information in my phone right now than I could ever come across. It's more information. I got more information in my notebook LM than I probably ever learned in all of the years in school and whatnot, organized school. That is not information. That's not education to me personally. Not after I got a whiff of some of that Bobby and Delbert and Phil. So our people are the most educated on the planet, men and women. Our people is the most educated. Those who sat in front of the master teachers, all of these, those who've been got the 10,000 hours of learning, being in school for 10,000 hours, 100,000 hours. Yeah, pop out. You know what I'm talking about? Pop out. Because y'all are the people that we've been looking for. Pop out. And we're going to hold you down. You know? And we'll give you the blueprint and we'll walk you through the orientation. And then, my nigga, you're on your own. Because you can't hold people's hands through this journey that we're all on. I'm not in your household when shit goes down. Like, you know what I mean? That's on you. That's something that you got to handle. You know what I mean? You got to steer your Nebuchadnezzar and don't crash. You can't crash out. You got to be able to land your plane. You feel me? But you got the instructions, you got the directions, you got all of the training that you need. And you might have watched the video and overlooked it, right? But I promise you, if you go back into the archives, start listening to some of these teachers, listen to them with a different eye. Just take the information and not the personality. Extract the information. I'm running YouTube videos through the AI and I'm getting the breakdown and the summary. It's good for me because I don't got to deal with the personality or the ego of the teacher when they're teaching. Sometimes I don't want to hear all of that posturing. I don't want to hear all of that chest bumping and whatnot. I don't want to hear none of that. I just want the information. I want the raw data. I want the gold. And the AI could do all of that. The AI has, so the youth is not leading us into the future. We're leading us. That's what I keep saying. We're leading us, and we're using the youth as the face of it. We're using the youth as the magnet. We're using the youth as the investment. We're investing in them the same way that when hip hop was coming up, like when LL Cool J was 17 and he was coming up and whatnot, you didn't see Russell Simmons trying to rap. That nigga wasn't trying to get on a mic. He was playing his position as management behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Making the phone calls. He's seen in LL Cool J, right? The star in him, the superstar. So everything in his power, I'm gonna talk to your I'm gonna talk to your A&R, I'm gonna talk to your manager, and we're gonna make sure that all opportunities are going to be directed to you because you're a star in the making. So then he put all of his quote unquote resources into making him a star. That's what I'm talking about. Some of us, how much of a star do you want to fucking be? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to these old niggas. Like, how famous do you want to be, my nigga? How much more do you want to be seen on the fucking internet? How many more people do you want to say your name? That's corny. That's corny. It's not about that. That's the fake shit right there. That's the matrix. It ain't about that. It's about how can you use your experience and the shit that you know in the contacts and the fucking contacts and the network that you have to bring somebody into their godhood or their goddesshood. That's what we should be doing at this point. And you will be rewarded for that handsomely, but get out the fucking way. That would be my message. Get out the way, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Work from the back of the office. You got books to write. You got movies to write. You got clothing to design. Sell it to put it on them. Put it on them. Put it on them. 12 to 25. Put the clothing on them. Make the movies for them. Feel me? Design for them. Let them lead. Right. Let them lead. They're going to watch your movies. They're going to go ahead and listen to your music that you helped to put together. They're going to read your comics. They're going to play your video games. But when everybody is on the floor and nobody is in the background making shit, like where's the maker community? Where's the manufacturers? Where's the production? Where's where's the producers amongst us? We can't anticipate teenagers to be that, or young adults. We can't anticipate them to be that. That's our role. That's where we fit in. And then when they see us bossing up, then sky's the limit. You know, let's step into our bosshood. There's entirely new generations that need father figures, right? They need father figures. They need the big homie. They need the big homie, not on some big you shit either. They need the real big homie that cares about them, that's going to steer them in a direction for success and shit like that. That's going to tell them about their shortcomings and their pitfalls and, their quote unquote, um, their the things that stop them from being their greatest version of themselves and whatnot. Like they need to hear that, because I be watching the internet and it's a resounding it's coming from the younger generation to a point where I can't unhear it. And they're like, yo, we just need a dad. We just need a father. You know what I mean? Like we just need a pops. And we wouldn't be out here killing and drilling and doing all of this crazy shit. We're just crying out. You could learn from the OGs in the streets, or you gonna go to prison and learn from the OGs. You pick one. You pick one. You pick one. I'd rather catch them in the streets and turn them up, get them turned up, show them some shit that they haven't seen before, and help them live for something. Cause they got nihilism. They're practicing nihilism and whatnot because they don't have nothing to live for. The fuck. They don't know. They don't know what life has to offer. But they listening to Chief Keef and fucking Bloodhound Jeff all day. They don't know. They don't have anything to look forward to. They trying to pop a pill and get some cheeks, my nigga, and do it all over again. They don't have that vision of life being greater later. Yeah, they dying about nothing because they don't got nothing to live for. That's called nihilism. If you if we were to take a toll of our youth, I had nihilism. I had an era of nihilism in my younger years. I was nihilistic. I didn't have nothing. I didn't have a child at that point. I didn't have a lot of purpose at that point. And I wasn't completely in love with myself at that point. So I was flirting with death, taking penitentiary chances, and literally throwing my life away. I went through a nihilism type of period and whatnot. And then I got off of that shit. So when I see the younger generation going through it, I'm like, I can relate. I know where they at mentally because I know where I was at. And I know what I needed. And I kind of know what they may need. I needed opportunities. I had a father. I needed opportunities, that was a little more alluring than the opportunity to basically run the streets. So it's very doable. I believe in us. I know we got it. I don't have all of the answers, but I promise you, I know someone who does. And I know, and it's not one person, it's groups of us. You feel me? So we got plans that we're putting together in the form of books, workbooks and whatnot. We got to tell our story, and we also need the futurists amongst us to tell our story in the future so we know how to get to the future. We need a perspective of us. Like, remember Bobby would always say, we already won. We already won. We already won. So what was he doing? He was putting us in the future. I'm listening to that in 2005, but I'm literally in 2020 because Bobby said we already won. I'm picturing what the fuck it looks like. I'm feeling what it feels like. I'm tasting it. Because he said it with so much confidence. I'm like, you damn right we won, right? I don't give a fuck what's going on right now. We won when it's all said and done. So we need the visuals to that. Show us in 2030 and then tell us how we won. You know what I mean? That's gonna break the chains that a lot of people have, especially those of us who can't, we can't look into the future. You ask a nigga, yo, where you gonna be in 10 years? And they'll feel disrespected. Like, what you talking about, fam? Do you know how much my bills are today? Like, they'll get disrespectful. So we've already won, but we need to see it. We need to be able to feel it. We need somebody to get in character and show it to us. That's what we missing. Fuck Star Trek and Star Wars and all of that bullshit. That's not our fucking story. Let's go ahead and take AI and the tools and make our own Star Trek, make our own futurism story. I would rather go Sun Ra with it. I would rather go Sun Ra with the future, with the Afrofuturism. You know what I'm saying? I would rather go Sun Ra with it instead of Star Trek. Fuck Star Trek. You know? I'm gonna do a comic book where I destroyed the Starship Enterprise. We gonna ride. We gonna glide right through that bitch. Blow that shit up. We might save Spock. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else got to go. We are the Wrath of Khan, the Wrath of Farrakhan, nigga. You know Khan was a nigga. The Wrath of Khan, Genghis Khan, Farrakhan. That was a brother. You know? Captain Spock out there sleeping with green women. Yeah, we gonna knock his ass out the. Yeah, we taking him out. Type shit. You know what I'm talking about? Beam me up, Scotty. There's gonna be niggas getting beamed down with polo. They gonna have a polo motherfucking spacesuits by Ralph Lauren with Dracos, nigga. We turn up type shit. So somebody needs to write that story. I shit you not, or the comic, or the graphic novel, or whatever it is. Your faceless channel. I don't care what it is. Tell our story from the perspective of us already winning. The youth will get with that. That's some shit that the youth will get with. All of that preachy shit, they ain't with none of that. They don't want to hear none of that. All of that, yo, beloved. Nah, nigga. Them days is over with, man. You know what I'm talking about? It's like you gotta upgrade. We need the remix right here. Yep, X is sloppy. I'm gonna leave it on this. You know what I mean? We gotta pay homage to Atlanta, right? We gotta pay homage. Now, keep in mind, this song that I'm about to play, this comes from the futurist movement, right? What did they know? It's called the futurist movement. They was doing the future back in the days. These Atlanta niggas they was on ecstasies and shit like that, talking about the future, right? Where's the song at? Oh man, why is the song not playing? It had a song on it, but the song is not playing. So I don't know what that's about. But this is another one with the AI. This is called Ghibli Studio. It's a Japanese artist, and this is their drawing style. So I went ahead and I turned a whole bunch of things into this style, right? But what does this do? This gets the attention of who? The younger generations, because they all in my inbox asking me. I sent it to my son. You know what I mean? That's a way of me bonding and whatnot. That's me, my dad, my son, my two sons and whatnot. You know. But I could take the same art style and I could make a picture. I could make a whole comic book of Red and Blue Pill story, our come up story. This is literally my come up story. I could just narrate it because these are real pictures and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I could just narrate it and be like, well, this was me in this year, and this was me in that year, and this was me in that year, right? But you literally could take those pictures. You could literally take your pictures and create a comic book out of pictures, man. That's how crazy it is right now. Once again, April, the link is in the bio. We did this class right here. We did this class right here, and it was legendary. We just finished this right here. AI Accelerated March Madness. Shout out to all of the students. Shout out to all of the students who was in class. Love is love. You know what I mean? We made history this month. Next month, Fantasy Complex Industry Reloaded, featuring me and Spin City. All right. And all of this artwork that you see us doing, we're going to take it to a whole nother level. This is just the preliminaries. We're going to take it to a whole nother level. We're going to make this shit move. We're going to do 3D printed artwork, 3D printed toys and everything. We turning up, right? So on Monday, right? On Monday, ladies and gentlemen, I will be in Blue Pill and Jefferson and a few others. We will be in Charlotte. I need to see the Charlotte family pulling up. I need to see the Charlotte family pulling up. You know, I need to see the Charlotte family in the building. We are coming to your city to turn up. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be an event. You know how we do. This shit ain't gonna be no corny ass regular degular. It's gonna be an event. It's gonna be a movie. You feel me? We got people opening up from your hometown. We want to introduce you to. We got vendors. We got food. We got music. We got merch. Yeah, we're gonna be in the building. And then we have on April 4th, Blue Pill, Red Pill, AA Rashid in Richmond, Virginia, at the RVA Boombox, Richmond, Virginia. All right, on 4/4, me, Blue, and music, of course. It's going to be hip hop inspired artwork, music, knowledge. All right. The replay for this has been going crazy. Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah. All right. This is the remix cover. Thank you, everybody that's gotten the replay. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you got the replay, leave a comment in the chat so I know that you outside, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? The 44 Tops album, of course. Make sure y'all go and get that. Claim that on Buy Me a Coffee. Claim that on Buy Me a Coffee and get your workbook. The clothing for the master teachers, the mart125.com, the mart125.com. All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is all of the announcements that we have to make. Melanin Mondays. We may do something tomorrow for Sacrilegious Sundays and whatnot. We may be doing that. I'll keep you updated, and I'll see all of y'all at the events. All right. He said we ready. Sharif said he ready for the Charlotte. You know what I'm talking about? I'll see you soon, good brother. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I think I might even wear that shirt that you the striped shirt. I might come and represent your brand and whatnot, because that I ain't even popped the tag on that. That shit is fire. But yeah, man, it's springtime, a New Year's, so we are lit. We moving forward. We moving. We active. Slauson, I gave you a shout out earlier because I was bigging up all of the journalists, the real journalists who are putting out real information that have integrity, not like Adam 12 and some of the journalists that work for the feds that we're seeing in hip hop media right now. Not them. You know what I mean? People such as yourself who are on the ground doing the work and standing on business, and you have integrity in your reporting. Keep doing what you're doing out there on the west side. You know what I mean? We see you, we acknowledge you, and we want you to keep going. Rise in power to young Scooter. You know what I'm talking about? Young Mexico, little Mexico and whatnot. And rise in power to all of the ascended ancestors. Remember, today's a powerful day, the Aries eclipse, right? So go and look that up and just, tap into that energy as you wind down your evening. All right. You were in the throes of a very powerful day, regardless if you knew it or not, you were a part of a ritual. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you very, very soon. Thank you for the support, to buy me a coffee. We appreciate you. Peace, love, and light.
Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.